And I don't really get starstruck anymore because I've done this for a long time with
Yeah,
athletes.
now.
But you have moments where you go, wow, I'm sitting with this giant movie star and like we're the same person. Like he goes through the same suicidal thoughts. He had addiction. He had to check into a treatment facility. So I think those moments are my favorite where I just, that was why I created the show.
Welcome to the FocalFlip podcast. Every week we take a deep dive into the mystery and stigma behind mental health and explore real life stories of struggle and triumph. We aim to educate and encourage others as we bring together a diverse group of guests. From the streets to sanctuaries, classrooms to boardrooms, mental health does not discriminate, neither do we. Prepare to laugh, prepare to cry, prepare to be changed. Let's get into it. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the FocalFlip podcast. It's your boy, Mike, your host. And today we got a familiar face, y'all.
What's up?
It's Brandon Saho. Brandon, what's up, man?
Thanks so much for having me on, Mike.
Dude, it's awesome. I'm glad you came out. You're crazy busy. How you fit this in? Dope.
Dude, I wanted to. You and I met. We'll talk about it. But we met through a mutual friend and both super passionate about mental health. So yeah, man, I'm pumped to be here. It is a crazy day. I'm here for like 24 hours.
Yeah.
But no, man, I'm psyched. Thank you for having me.
No, not a problem. It's really cool. We're going to actually plug that event here at the end of our episode too. Brandon's been super busy. This guy is the man of the Mental Game podcast. And it is incredibly cool. You see his therapy, his cool shirt. This dude, it's cool for me. I struggle with mental health. I've been sober for 4 years. I was also suicidal 4 years ago. I had a hard time sharing the suicide part of my journey.
Yep.
I was okay with talking about the alcoholism, and the addiction, the depression, and all that stuff. But I heard a lot of people when I started to tell them about that's how I was. So you're 3 years, I believe. Is that right?
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
2 years?
Sorry. 3 years from the suicidal thoughts, 2 years sober. What's crazy is mine was opposite. I was much easier talking about the suicidal thoughts. It was the alcoholism and the addiction that I was not wanting to talk about.
Flip-flopped.
Yeah. But no, it's just, it's been 2 years since I had a drink, 3 years since a suicidal thought. But like, that's when we first met. It's like our synergy, our stories connected so well. Yeah,
it was so cool. I'll go ahead and segue into that actually. Then the reason that I had Brandon come on, I went down, we have a mutual friend, Sean Heron. I was actually invited with Chuck Kinney, Sean Heron, a couple people invited me down to Cincinnati, down to the warehouse. And I walked in, everybody was super cool. It was such a neat environment. And, Sean come walking out of the back and was like, "Hey, I saw your stuff. I got to let you got to meet Saho." That was literally the first words that Sean said when he came out of the back room. He goes, "Hey, man, loving the podcast. You got to meet my boy Saho."
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and you were, we were down there, and Chuck and I were talking, kind of collaborating on some stuff. And, dude, you came in. TD was down there. You came in. You were busy. And you stopped and chatted with me, and then we were engaged the whole time. I'm like, this dude is awesome. This is cool.
No, you can feel when people match your energy, just for people listening, like Sean's one of my really good friends for 15 years. He's run in the music business and event business. And now he's so proud to be from Northern Kentucky and Cincinnati. We have this secret space that we'll talk about, the warehouse, but it's just these amazing creatives. And so it's not like anyone can show up. So you showed up, he obviously trusted you, and so did Chuck. And they're like, "Hey, this guy does what you do. Why don't you guys talk?" No, it was really cool. And like you said, I think I was in between either shooting Kirk Herbstreit or That One Mailman, one of those episodes, because our studio was there at the time.
Yeah.
And we talked for probably 45 minutes when we were watching your first episode together. Your story spoke to me. So thank you for saying that.
Yeah, no, not a problem. It's awesome. I mean, if anybody is familiar with Brandon's face, I first saw him when he was a sports reporter working in media broadcasting. I believe it was for Channel 5.
Yep.
That's correct.
WLWT.
It was Channel 5. So can you kind of give me a little bit of your story, kind of the upbringing, take me into what brought you into media and broadcasting, if you can?
Yeah, I was the weird kid that brought a TV with a built-in VCR and a microphone and a camera to a 7th grade football game and acted like I was broadcasting the game on ESPN, which obviously no one saw that. But then my freshman year at LaSalle, There's this website called tristatefootball.com. It's way more popular now. Back then, they were just getting started. Dan Claskins and Greg Shoemaker, kind of guys like us that just love media, wanted to figure out what to do. And they created this local high school football site, and they needed student beat reporters. And so I got to be on the radio as a freshman in high school, calling into this show. I sounded like this, LaSalle touchdown.
Did you really?
Yeah, I sounded like that. But
I remember those days.
Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing. But that was my first taste of getting to do it. And I had always dreamed of being on ESPN, being a sports broadcaster, but they gave me my first real shot at it. And I still keep in touch with those guys to this day. It's crazy to look back at. I'm bad at math. I'm almost 32. That's like, I don't know, whatever. It's 16, 18 years ago. But for me, that was my first taste. And then like in TV, you have to just work your, can I cuss on here?
Yep.
I have to make sure. You got to work your ass off. You got to move to different cities. You work weekends, long nights. And the dream was always to get back to Cincinnati. And the fact that I got to do that at 24, 25 years old, cover my favorite teams, it was a true dream come true. And I'm a Cincinnati guy through and through. I grew up on the west side, went to LaSalle, went to UC.
Lancer.
So yeah, and for our Northern Kentucky friends, since we're shooting this at your house, I lived in Covington for 3 years in the Roebling district right there down by the river. I love Northern Kentucky just as much as I love Cincinnati.
Oh, we know it, brother. You don't even have to share that. I'm telling you, like every time, I mean, we're referring to you quite a bit with everything that's been happening with Boone County schools and stuff, and a lot of the mental health spikes. You know this stuff intimately like I do. So it's just been interesting to see you kind of telling your stories, and then to have you going out to LA. Okay, so you're in the middle game. You go out to LA, and then we have kind of these string of events that have just been very tense here in Northern Kentucky. Okay. And so I follow your stuff quite a bit. And then when I started creating content, I realized it's like harder to follow everybody else's stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like you stay in their smaller clips and everything and then you fall. But what was interesting was seeing people really trying to help here in Northern Kentucky. Some folks not really knowing what to do.
Sure. And it's part of it.
Some folks grieving. Really, really
naturally.
Yeah. And some of it be very, very difficult. And then to watch you sneak back out here, man, that's cool. Number one, thank you. Because it's meaningful for us out here. I bring this up because my daughter goes to a Boone County school. Yeah. She has been bullied at that school just this past year. It hits directly home with me. And so when I see people that are passionate about this stuff, that really know it and that are spreading these things, and I know how busy you are, kudos to you for coming out and helping us with this. Well, because it needs to be framed correctly, in my opinion. Yeah. And I think you're excellent at that.
Well, thank you for saying that. That means a lot to me. I do it because I've been in the position that your daughter's in when I was a freshman, and I had I don't know her story, but my story was I had a nude picture sent all around the student section during a freshman football or during a varsity football game as a freshman. And that was when cell phones just came out. It was 2007. I thought I was going to take my life then. It's been off and on since, and through my rock bottom 3 years ago, which we can talk about. But with Boone County, I mean, when I started the mental game, the first two schools I ever went to were Connor High School and Cooper High School. First two I ever went to, and one being Connor, because Debbie, the founder of Ethan's Purpose, she lost her son Ethan to suicide. She'll be a big part of that event tonight. You know, she and I formed a friendship because our mutual friend was her nephew, Drew McDonald, who played at NKU. Yeah. And when I started to open up more, he introduced me to her. And then Cooper, they just were super, super passionate about it in the beginning. I didn't even have a presentation. I didn't know what I was saying. But the reason why I came back is because, one, I'm never going to be like more than Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, the Tri-State. Like, this is my home. I love everyone here because I am one of us. Like, it's me. You're us. But the thing that struck me, which was tough, is that I've been to 3 out of the 4 schools. And so I know that 3 or 4 of these students have heard me speak and have been in those rooms. And you know,
it's deeply personal.
Yeah, it's really, really tough when you do this now, and it's awesome to see it grow. Like, I'm in Detroit tomorrow and Denver the next day, and like you just do different stuff all the time. And so we're able to be in 43 states and almost 200,000 people. But with that, you have so many success stories, but then unfortunately you hear and get calls like this. So one of the things, you know, we're doing is I tried, just because it's from where I'm home, I get messages and emails every day, but like I tried to reach out to every family in Boone County when this happened. Cool. I know the moms and dads are going to be there tonight backstage to be able to have a conversation. And I can't bring back their child. I can't make it better. But what I can do is hopefully help them heal and find a purpose to help their friends and help themselves, because this is something that isn't going away, unfortunately, with social media and young people. It's in your face all the time. The good thing I'll say, because I talk and meet with people of all ages, is that high school age, they are the most aware of mental health and know how to talk about it better than any of us. And that's the encouraging part when it comes to that, even though they might be some of the most at-risk kids and age group because of the social media, because of the bullying, the things that we were talking about.
I love that you said that, because how many schools have you been out and spoke to now, do you think?
Oh, I don't know. Probably over 100 across the country. Yeah.
Yeah. He's been across the country speaking to schools. And that's what's really, really cool about that is he's in it, and that's what I think is, it's amazing, because we see numbers and stuff all the time, but when you're in it and you're starting to see like that kind of feedback, people wouldn't necessarily expect to hear that in this podcast, to be honest.
Sure.
But I see it too.
Yeah.
And when I coach kids, high school kids, like they're receptive and starting to like speak about it. So for me, when I'm at the behavioral health centers and I'm speaking and I see how many folks are in detox versus in rehab and whatnot, like you're in it.
Well, yeah.
And you can see that.
You can see it, and it's like, I can relate. I'm sure you can when you talk to people, because you've been through that shit and you've struggled with it. Fact. And sometimes we still struggle with it some days.
Another fact.
And it's like, the saddest thing that happens every time I speak, but it also gives me hope, because I know that it's working and we're creating a safe space. Every single time, at least one person, usually multiple. I'm sure it'll happen tonight. It happened 3 times at a high school earlier today. Someone will come up and say, "Hey, Brandon, I've never really talked about mental health before. I'm suicidal right now. Where do I go? What do I do?" And that's where we make sure that we have the school mental health professionals with us.
Ready to rock and roll.
Mental health nonprofit, foundations, because I can't be here to be the therapist and to be having that conversation with that kid every single day. I want to do my best in those 3 to 4 minutes that I get. And so for anyone listening, we ever come across each other, I'll be honest, I can't really keep up with social media stuff. I want to have that conversation one-on-one, and I will give you my 110% heart, mind, everything I can to help you in that moment. But you have to lean on the people around you. And for young people in high school and college, you have more resources than anyone in the world. Your high school, you have your counselors, your social workers. Don't be afraid to go to them. They can help you find
don't be afraid
those resources in your area. And then once you get to college, if you're going to college, I didn't know this, like almost every college offers free therapy with tuition. It's been that way for 50 years. We just didn't talk about it, which is crazy, but it's awesome.
I didn't know that, actually.
Exactly. Like, I didn't know it. I was speaking last year on tour at West Virginia University.
I knew you had something in yours that you had talked about with free therapy, but I did not know that.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that we don't talk. It's because
for 50 years,
it's been a service at schools. Someone's had to learn how to be a social worker, so they've had their school of psychology or psychiatry.
Wow, man.
But that's good things that we have to talk about for sure.
Yeah, thank you for exposing that. That's amazing that you introduced that out there, because that is massive, man. That's massive. That's when I really started to decline, was college in my 20s.
Yeah.
And then rolling into my early 30s. Yeah, it was a big struggle.
Life, I'm guessing, is the same as mine. Dating, alcohol, substance abuse, whatever it is.
Yeah, I had weight in there too. I struggled with my weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was rough.
It's just, you feel like life's moving so fast and everyone around you maybe is getting married, accomplishing things, different stuff going on. Exactly. And then you're not living up to what either your expectations or what someone else's expectations were.
Exactly.
Yeah, it just beats you down.
Yeah, it does. Well, thank you for sharing that. So let's go real quick into take me back 3 years ago.
Sure.
And walk me into the current day.
Yeah, I was living the dream job that everyone saw in Cincinnati of me on TV, reporting on the Bengals going to the Super Bowl, UC to the college football playoff, things that I dreamed of, but behind the scenes I was struggling with stuff that no one saw. I battled those suicidal thoughts since I was 14. They would come and go every few weeks, every 3 months through college and young professional life. But in 2021 and 2022, that winter, for 3 months leading up to, the Super Bowl, no one knew, but I was suicidal every second of every day. And I had lost 3 family members, including my cousin Ben. He passed away the day before that playoff game. He was supposed to be there. We were supposed to hang out after the game. Yeah. And so I had all this pressure on me at work. And then also like just the big thing for me was feeling alone. I'm a Cincinnati kid. So like a lot of us, or maybe I'm weird, but I know I'm weird, but a lot of us dream of like marrying your high school sweetheart, staying in Cincinnati, the whole deal. Same thing in Northern Kentucky.
Same thing, man.
And so I thought that was going to be my path. And unfortunately I was single for a lot of my life. And then always wanted that relationship. And so thought I had it. We were going through a really toxic breakup with my girlfriend at the time. And so all of that at once, I hit this rock bottom where I just didn't want to live anymore. I didn't know how to live. I didn't know what to do. And that's when I finally had to have the conversation with my parents at 28 and was like, Mom, you don't know this. No one knows this, but like, I've wanted to kill myself for the last 3 months. I don't know where to go, what to do, but I need help. Wow. Parents have been split for ever since I was, maybe 11, 12 years old. Call my dad, put him on speakerphone. And that's the moment that like really stands out in my story from what I understand, is because it's what boys and young men fear. Telling their father that and hearing my dad say something along the lines of, figure it the fuck out, be a man, toughen up. We all go through shit. And we yell at each other for 30 seconds and hang up the phone. And like, I just told my dad that I wanted to kill myself. And his response was to toughen up, figure that shit out. But I always share that story because if people truly love and care about you, they will help you. They might not know how to at first. They might not know what to say at first. My dad said the word, please do not say that.
Yeah.
Don't say that. Worst thing you can possibly say.
Don't say that.
But if they love and care about you, they'll circle back and they'll apologize and they'll want to help you. My dad did that within an hour, called back and said, hey, I don't understand all the way, but like, how do I help? What do we do? And look, he had stuff that he had never addressed. He lost his father when he was 27.
That was his initial reaction to it. Right?
Yeah, no, it was his initial reaction because he had never been to therapy. He lost his dad when he was 27. His dad struggled with addiction. My dad's an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. It's
there
like,
it is, y'all.
There's all this stuff together.
That's
when I finally had to ask for help and checked into a hospital here in Ohio. And that changed everything. It didn't save me right away, but it gave me the tools that I had never learned about.
Yeah. Dude, man, good for you. That's what it is, y'all. And that's the biggest thing about his message is asking for help. I always thought, because when I first asked for help from my mom, because I had an opiate overdose.
Yeah.
And I struggled with that. I always wanted to please my parents. Growing up on a farm, and I just absolutely struggled with admitting anything at that point. I was a facade.
Gotta be strong.
I was a chameleon, like in that inner conflict. Just listening to your story, I could feel that inner conflict that you had as a younger child.
Yeah, I mean, you want to live up to your own expectation, your parents' expectations. It's just, and then you're numbing the pain with whatever you're going to.
Dude, that's exactly it. That's what happened for me. Completely spiraled. I almost lost my life a couple times. That suicidal thing was weird.
Well, I'm happy you're here, and I'm proud of you for asking for help, and the fact that you're able to talk about it and tell your story. Like, you can read whatever I do. I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, what you do. If you're telling your story, you're sharing it, like, you're helping save lives. It's like, even the fact that we're doing an episode on this, someone's going to thank you when they listen to this, because it's going to help them have that conversation with their kids.
100%. And that's what I love, that feeling from that too. Because like you said, when there's 3 kids or 3 students that say that to you, that's what's heartwarming for me, is from where I'm from, is hearing people from the southern counties, maybe a little more rural, reach out and say, I felt like that too. Like that stigma. We talk about breaking the stigma, destigmatizing mental health. It's a real thing, man.
Oh, yeah.
It delays people's self-discovery.
Oh, my gosh.
It's really hard because there's so many judgmental folks that are out there. And then we obsess over these thoughts and we want to please other people, and it's just, that's a tough thing, man. It's just such a tough journey. And a lot of folks that most people deal with it and just don't know how to reach out and ask for help or talk about it. And
they bury it. And that's the worst possible thing you can do. And I'll say this, you can have all the great resources, therapy, family, friends, resources around you. But if the person in the mirror doesn't want to make that change, it's never going to happen.
Exactly.
And I hate saying it like that, but it is true. Like, that person has to want to make that change. If you didn't want to make that change, you wouldn't be here, neither would I. But we did have people around us that cared, and resources like therapy and rehab and going to treatment facilities. It's different, but we have to have that support system if it's going to help us with that change.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that, man. All right. Well, we're going to end with a couple things, okay?
All right.
So I have been following your social media, as I always do.
Is it too much?
No, it's awesome. I was going to dive into like the celebrity stuff because I just think it's the coolest thing.
Oh, we got at least 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. So Tell me about the most intriguing interview you've had since starting the mental game.
Most intriguing. I think like having Kevin Gates on, people get shocked at that is one of the biggest rappers in the world, and he would talk about mental health. Just where we shot the interview was like backstage at a concert. It was very like whatever you expect it to be.
Was it really?
Yeah. Yeah. But he was the coolest guy ever. And he's from Baton Rouge. I lived there when I was an LSU football reporter. And so I start naming like where he went to high school, clubs that I used to go to. And he's like, oh, this boy's a native. And he was like all in right away. Yeah. So that was one of my favorite kind of behind the scenes moments.
I love Gates.
Oh man, he's incredible. His story, being suicidal, asking for help, and now telling it. Like that meant a lot to me for him to be able to open up. And he talks about vulnerability being a strength, not a weakness, especially as men, as a black man. Speaking of that, I had Terry Crews on, who was the first time that, he had ever opened up publicly about his suicidal thoughts.
Wild.
That for me, just because of how it happened, I'm living in my mom's basement. I see a comment on Instagram from him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is this real? Me and Nate Burleson are talking about black men's mental health, and he just says, right on, keep going with a bunch of fire emojis. And like 3 months later, I'm sitting there in his office, kind of like where we're at right now, and I'm having a conversation with him. And I don't really get starstruck anymore because I've done this for a long time with athletes. But you have moments where you go, wow, I'm sitting with this giant movie star, and like we're the same person. Like he goes through the same suicidal thoughts. He had addiction. He had to check into a treatment facility. So I think those moments are my favorite, where I just, that was why I created the show, to show that everyone struggles. Doesn't matter how rich you are, if you're on TV, if you're in movies, if you got songs on the radio, we all go through shit.
Every one of us.
And the way we help each other is by sharing our stories. So yeah, I think they're probably like the two ones that really, Kate Flannery from The Office was awesome because I'm a huge Office fan. Kirk Herbstreit, amazing broadcaster, really like super in-depth conversation about kids' mental health and what he's gone through. Lee Corso just retired, so I think of that stuff, or losing his dog, how much his dog,
man.
His dog was like his best friend and his therapist, really.
Dude, for real, it was his best friend.
Oh my gosh. But
my dog was my best friend. I lost it too. Yep.
Yeah. It's tough when you go through that stuff. I've dealt with the same thing. But yeah, those are probably, I know I'm forgetting people. Like,
well, yeah, I get that. I'm not saying that. I'm just talking. I just think it's interesting because like, I'm the same way. When I find the similarities, and then there are some that are just I'm drawn a little more to. And it's not. There's no specific reason for that. Yeah, it's just whatever connects and hits me spiritually, mentally, emotionally at the time.
Yeah.
For Gates, I thought that was cool. I was in his episode because I listen to his music.
Yeah,
I listen to it when I want to get pumped up about stuff.
Yeah, he has.
Shout out Gates.
Yeah, same here. He's awesome, and he's just like down to earth, and like a lot of these interviews can be transactional. And I think what's unique about, and I mean that as like, hey, sit down, do it, leave, that's it. Or like, this is what you're doing for this night or this moment. This is all organic. Like there's no guests don't get paid. There's no gotcha like TMZ interview. It's like, I share my story. I want you to be vulnerable. And so like him afterwards was like, we had probably like a minute, 2 minutes together hanging out backstage. And he was just like, dude, you got like good energy about you. Like, this is real. I'm like, that's why, like, I'm happy that you answered those questions real. Like, thank you. So yeah, moments like that mean a lot because it's awesome. It started from nothing, like how you started yours. Like, not that you had nothing, but it's like you have to start somewhere and you keep building it. Yeah, you scratch and claw. And it's like, I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but yeah, it's just crazy to look back on.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I absolutely love it. I think it's super cool. I really do. So before we wrap up, I've been following social media, and you have got something that I thought was really cool and was different, and I'd never really heard of that before. You have a bridge sign campaign here locally. Is it Ohio and Kentucky?
Yep.
Can you tell me about that? He's literally going around and installing, basically, it's a suicide awareness signs. It's like what does it say? Like,
so it's going to be. So I struggled the most walking across the Roebling Bridge from Kentucky to Cincinnati when I would go out to the bars or go to a Reds game. And so for me, that's where I had a lot of the moments where I contemplated taking my own life. And so for me, that's where like I feel some pain, some joy, thankfulness for being here still. But there's other people like me, and I was touring around and saw in parking garages, different bridges in different countries. Like different states. Yeah. I think it was New York and maybe at USC at Carolina. And so like I just saw these messages of hope and like the 988 National Suicide Crisis Lifeline. So what I decided was, I'm like, how do we do this in Ohio, Kentucky? How do I make this happen? I tweeted it out 8 months ago, and it kind of went a little tri-state viral, and I had people reaching out from both sides of the state, officials and people that work on transportation and the bridges. And so like, I'm really excited that in 2 weeks we're going to start on the Purple People Bridge. Yeah, they're going to be the first one to install it. The signs are absolutely free. We opened a GoFundMe that had some really good donations in it. I'm putting some of my own money into it, and if any bridges, any communities want one, we'll send it to them free. You got to install it, but we'll send it to you completely free. It has "You're not alone," or "Feelings are temporary," or "Please ask for help," and then a QR code. When you scan that QR code, starting May 15th, it'll take you to resources in your area based off your location on your phone.
Nice.
And then it'll also give you an option to hear other stories. And one of those is going to be a video of like you, me, whoever submits videos talking about their experiences in these type of situations. So I will send them wherever we can, or our team will. They're going to be completely free. They're like hard aluminum signs. It can go on bridges, can go on structures, can go on buildings.
Wow.
We also have stickers, which like I just ordered them right before walking in here. 5,000 of them, which is a lot, but they're like the size of our piece of paper here, and they can go in schools, they can go in restaurants, they can go in bathrooms. I know it sounds crazy. Put it on a stall, you'll get a lot of people to pay attention.
I think it's awesome. Can we get some of those here?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Dude, I literally have a little FocalFlip squad down here in these southern part of the counties that will absolutely help you get these suckers out.
My gosh, I would love to do that. And I'll start handing them out when we get them May 15th. And themental.game is where you can like apply. It's themental.game/help. That'll be active starting May 15th. And you can look for help there, resources. You can also ask for signs in your community, your school, at bridges, your city. Yeah, so it's very organic. I designed the signs. I ordered them. Like, yeah.
You've pretty much done all of your stuff.
Yeah, my brother designed the logo. EJ Corpran is my manager, and him and I have been like brothers with this. It's been it's crazy. I book every guest, I edit every piece of video, but we work really, really well together.
That's so cool, man.
I'm grateful. And without people of Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky, the tri-state, I wouldn't be where I am, because y'all helped give me my start. And without I think Lil Wayne says it, like, to start every concert, like, without y'all, I ain't shit. Like, that's how I feel. Like, without you guys, I'm nothing.
I love it, man. Well, hey, I'm glad you came out tonight. I'm excited because you have an event from 6 to 8 at Crossroads Florence, Northern Kentucky Resonate Hope.
Yep.
I've been fired up about it since you made the first infographic, and a lot of my little focal flippers have been fired up too. Pat Morgan, she's excited too. So can you tell us a little bit about the event that's going to be tonight?
Is that Tanner's mom? Is that Tanner Morgan, the quarterback's mom from?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Did you just not figure? Yeah.
Yeah, I just figured that out. Yeah. No, I loved watching Tanner play in high school. I called his games, then he went to Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dude, Tanner's on a podcast now.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
He just started doing it. It's on his Faith.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. All right, well, I'm really excited to meet her. But yeah, no, tonight I'm going to tell my story, kind of share some of what we talked about, resources, tips, tools, coping mechanisms, and then also all 4 Boone County schools are going to be there. Their bands and choirs are going to perform, and then we're going to have breakout sessions between, parents and kids in 2 different rooms, and then I'll stay and hang out, take pictures, answer questions as long as I can before that 6 a.m. flight to Detroit.
Dude, that's very cool, man. Well, I look forward to it. Again, thank you. Safe travels. Keep trucking with the mission. It's incredible. You know how to handle mental health, but my goodness, you are so busy. How are you able to keep that sucker okay now?
I'm trying.
It helps talking about our stuff. Clearly.
Yeah, no, I just got to unplug sometimes. This is a lot. It's this week. I do this every other week pretty much now. West Coast to East Coast, 5 to 10 events a week. Yeah. But I would rather do it all at once so that I can have that time by myself back home or recording episodes in the studio. But I will say this. I want to end on this. The 2 biggest things I tell people with mental health, number 1, do something. If you're feeling some type of way, you're feeling suicidal, you're struggling, you're sad, you have to do something. You have to reach out to that trusted adult, someone that can get you help, whether it's 988 or someone close to you at school, at home. And then number 2 is the biggest thing for me. Feelings are temporary. They're not facts. They're not going to last forever. Nothing's the end of the world. You can be happy again, but you have to do step 1 to get there. For me, that's like what helps me now. Like, tonight's going to be a lot. Like, I'm going to meet hundreds of people and hear so many stories. And I'll be a little drained when I get back to the hotel. I'll be tired tomorrow in Detroit. But when I get back to LA this weekend, I'll be like, man, I'm so grateful I did that. Those feelings are temporary. It was a lot, but think of how many people we're able to touch and help, hopefully, with their mental health.
Dude, excellent job bringing it home.
Thank
Brandon,
you.
thank
Appreciate
you for
it, brother.
coming out, my brother.
Thank you.
You guys, www.FocalFlip.com. Check us out. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple. We are going to try to edit this as quickly as possible and get this sucker out. So love you, man. Whatever I can do to help your mission here, since you're from here and you're a home person and you're traveling, you let me know. I'd be happy to be a leg of whatever we can do to help these kids, man. So,
awesome. Love you too, brother. Thanks, Mike.
All right. We're out.
So guys, you should like and subscribe and like hit that
Okay.
I can't get it.
Okay.
I'm not used to this.
Hey guys, subscribe to my dad's video and just like the bell.
Hit that like and subscribe button, hit that bell.
And stay tuned. Love y'all.
100%. Love y'all. We're out.
I love that.